Julie Gunlockett, it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming in studio today. You look nice and summery today.
In the brightest yellow dress, I swear. I put this on and I thought, they're going to lose viewers. They're going to turn off the screen when they see me pop up.
Not at all. Now, if I had worn my yellow dress today, we might have lost viewers, but
I guess it's okay.
That's not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I'm sorry. Put your sunglasses
so I've got
on.
to ask you. No, it's fine. It's fine. You look great. I'm in a T-shirt, for goodness sakes. All right, so you were in Colorado last week, and I get this text from you, and it's the coolest picture because it's you and Laura Carno, two regular guests here on NRA News Cam and Company, and the very first time that the two of you had a chance to meet, right?
Yes, she came to, I was giving some speeches out at CCU, which is Colorado Christian University, and several other places, and she came to a couple of the events, which was fantastic. I'd never met her. I'd, of course, heard her before on your show and heard about her book. So I was really excited. And she was so nice, actually, before I was coming to Colorado. She actually sent me an early copy of her book. So I'm working my way through it. It's fantastic. It gives a reasonable approach to why the free market is a far better solution. And the title of her book is hilarious. Why Government Ruins Everything. Nearly everything, which I thought was
Nearly everything.
Which I thought was very generous. Of her, and actually, it's funny because there was as I was giving these speeches, I was sort of, often referring to her book or talking about her book or referring to her in the audience because there was a lot of similarities between what we write on, how government interference really often leaves us less free and more inconvenienced and unhappy, and so yeah, it was great to meet her. She's just really a terrific person, and it's kind of nice to have this in common, and also, put a name with a face and have a conversation sort of outside of the media scene. So it was great.
Absolutely. Now, the other big thing in your life, so I saw your story last week when you were on the program with us. You talked about your encounter with an FBI agent, right, over your kids in the back seat. And so tell me about this website, because you wrote for this, and it seems like all of a sudden now this website, I'm seeing it in my Twitter feed multiple times a day. It's on my Facebook feed. Heat Street, is that the name of it?
Heat Street. I'm so excited about this new project, this new publication. I'm going to be contributing to Heat Street. It's affiliated with Wall Street Journal, so it's a new publication, and they're going to be having a lot of more, I think, public interest stories and really commenting on pop culture and some other issues like that. But they do have political reporters, some great political reporters. Jillian Melchior, who used to be with National Review Online, she's also an IWF fellow. Emily Zanotti, who does great work on sort of political commentary and also pop culture. And I think Andrew Stiles is working for them as well. So it's a great new publication. I'm really excited to be contributing. And it was a great place to tell my story about that overeager FBI agent who harassed me in my grocery store parking lot when I let my kids in the car. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. So I sort of documented it for an opinion piece for them. And I'm really thrilled to be writing for them.
Has there been any follow-up? Have there been any mysterious cars sitting outside your house in the morning when you get up? Have you noticed anybody following you?
Remember, I tell people to reject conspiracy theories. So I might have taken I may have taken a longer route to the studio today. I might have, switched cars halfway. I have a line of rental cars waiting for me every couple blocks. No, nothing has happened, and I'm sure that I really do firmly believe that FBI agent was probably rethinking his approach to this matter, and I don't think he'll be harassing a lot of women outside the grocery store anymore because it was obvious he was shocked by my reaction. I really am hoping he's a reader of Heat Street, though. I really hope he sees the article because that would be pretty hilarious.
So have you looked in the comment section there at Heat Street, and have you online on Facebook? I know you talked about this, and you got a lot of people interested. Did you get any pushback? Did you get anybody who said to you, you know what, Julie? Yeah, maybe he was a little heavy-handed, but his best interests were for the kids, and he was just looking out for them. You cut him some slack.
Yeah, I originally, when I put it on my own Facebook page, a friend sort of said, well, maybe, benefit of the doubt, maybe he was just looking out for the kids, and I firmly told her she was wrong, so that was my
you
personal.
blocked her, didn't
yeah,
you?
no, we're no longer friends. No, off the Christmas card list. No, but interestingly, another friend of mine posted it on a local mommy board. Whew, and she said she wrote what she said. I made the mistake of putting your article on the local mommy board, and some of the moms were horrified. They thought that I had done something illegal and immoral, and I was a bad mom. So look, you're going to get those women. But as I said, I bet there were some vocal women who were thought that I had done a bad thing. But I bet there are some women that read that and read my article, and they might not want to get involved in the debate on this mommy board, but maybe they feel a little bit better about trusting their instincts and parenting the way they want to, and maybe they're inspired by what I did. So, and maybe they're keeping quiet on their opinions. But so yeah, there's been a little bit of pushback. I haven't looked at the comments on the Heat Street piece. I have a firm rule of not reading the comments. So I'm not sure if I'm getting much love or much hate over there.
All right. Well, that's probably I guess a good rule of thumb. Although I will say we've talked before about the comment section in
Acculturated.
Life's Zet or
No, it was
Acculturated.
Acculturated. Yes, super smart people read Acculturated. I don't mind reading those comments.
And so what are you saying about the readership of the new
don't get me in
publication,
trouble.
Heat Street?
Don't get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble. I'm just saying, I actually
Hey, listen,
have.
Heat
You're
Street,
right.
if you've got a
Okay.
sudden opening for a writer and you want to give me a shot, just
Thanks. Throw you
under the bus
That
there.
was nice. That
It's
was
a
nice.
dog world these days.
I'm red.
you
I can feel
know?
myself sweating now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm so red. I walked right into that
I'm sure the
buzzsaw.
comment section there is fantastic.
Yes, I'm sure.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Thanks. Writing for
Sorry, not
for a
sorry.
few for some fewer. Yeah, I lost a couple contracts there. Thanks. All right, that's moving on. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So the last thing that I wanted to talk with you about, there's this piece of the Chronicle of Higher Education right now. Did we just lose Julie? I think they just went dark there for a second. I thought you walked out on me. Okay.
No.
All right, we're good.
Okay, good. The lights have stayed
There's
on
a piece
here.
of the Chronicle of Higher Education. Guns, pancakes, and ambiguity. A professor has second thoughts about writing a recommendation for a student gun enthusiast. Someone going by the pseudonym of Myrtle Lynn Payne. I have no idea why you'd pick Myrtle as your pseudonym, but okay. Writes that she's a professor at a university in the Western United States. It's you get the idea that it's red state. You get the idea that there are a lot of gun owners. She talks about the local NRA pancake breakfast, having a billboard not far from campus.
Terrifying.
And one of her students, right, is Sarah, a very nice young woman. She had academic abilities, not strong, Julie, but she had great energy and she was a class leader. But she's also a firearms enthusiast, and she has talked about getting her concealed carry license, and she's also talked about wanting to be a teacher. And Sarah, at some point, asked for a recommendation, and the teacher said, initially I said yes, and then I started thinking about it. She says it's so complicated. On one side are all of my ideas about supporting students, honoring their individuality and their journeys, creating a safe space for them and myself, not taking things out of context, not over-interpreting. On the other side are my memories of growing up in a situation where guns, people, and bullets had to be rigorously kept apart lest they find each other in a tragic moment of instability. She seems to be a good kid, Sarah, and I don't know what she really thinks of gun advocacy and political failures, but what do I do? Do I write her a recommendation? Because I originally said yes. Do I say no and explain myself? Do I ignore her email? I mean, here's a teacher who is a professor, a college professor, who is racking her, just racked with nerves here because she can't figure out whether or not she should write a recommendation for someone because they are a gun owner and they support the right to keep and bear arms.
This type of story makes me so mad. I said I was blushing earlier. Now I'm sweating because I'm so mad listening to this. And this teacher better understand the real world, which is gun ownership among women is up and concealed carry permit applications are up. I mean, people want to own guns. And, you took us out to the range. Jen Jakes and some women from IWF went out and we talked about it, about how, women are told to be afraid of guns and you should never, that line about separating humans from bullets. Women want to learn about guns and want to feel safe and want the means to protect themselves. And so, education, women are sort, I write about this all the time, how women are sort of desperate for good information and they also want to take care of themselves. So this professor, might want to look at the statistics out there because she is entering a world she's just not prepared for. That, this is how women feel. They want to prepare themselves. They want to be protected. They want to protect themselves. They want to take charge of their own lives. And again, more women want to own guns, want to know how to use guns properly and safely, want to have them in their homes. So she's definitely behind the times.
She is, but I also wonder, how prevalent this is. I mean, she writes, how can I say that I don't want to support students who are gun enthusiasts without getting put on some sort of list? Like, in other words, I want to discriminate against the students in my class who support the Second Amendment, but I don't want to have any, repercussions.
Yeah,
for
and
this.
she says, I want to, support my students. No, she just wants to support the students who sort of toe the party line or her line, or who believe in what she believes. This is not a professor who believes in free thought and debate and really working at the believes in the marketplace of ideas. No, she believes in everybody sort of following the talking points and believing as she believes. And I do think we're seeing more of this. I think this is a real problem. And unfortunately, on college campuses, we're even seeing this on the part of the student body, requesting speech codes and safety and, safe spaces and this kind of stuff. So you don't even have pushback from the students. So I definitely think that we are going to see more of this. And, we see this also in other things. You see students who are part of, Future Farmers of America or, involved in gun sports. They may not, and they put that on their college transcripts or their college applications, not really getting a fair viewing, or they might be discriminated against. So I think this is more prevalent than probably we realize.
Which is bizarre to me because at the same time we are seeing at the high school and even at the collegiate level a big increase in participation in the shooting sports. As far as concealed carry holders go, holy cow, Julie, we've got over 13 million concealed carry holders in this country. Odds are that this woman who, again, is so freaked out by the student who is a gun owner and wants to become a concealed carry holder, if she sets foot off of that college campus in whatever Western state it is that she's teaching in, she's interacting with people who are concealed carry holders every day. This is what I don't understand when in the campus carry debate. I do want to understand, and I do want to have some empathy for the professors here, most of whom, again, are ardently anti-gun. But I also want and expect professors at an institution of higher learning to be able to use critical thinking skills and actually think about this subject somewhat rationally rather than engage in a full-throated freak-out over something that, frankly, has been implemented already in states around the country.
Well, don't you sound reasonable? Don't you sound normal? I mean, we are living, that is just a pipe dream. I mean, we are living in the days of Melissa, we're living with Melissa Glicks out there. I mean, we're talking, and we're living with sort of the Red Army type student body who supports this kind of stuff. Yeah. So, I think it's important that we highlight these things and continue to push back. But I don't think college campuses are going to be very receptive or very welcoming to kids like Sarah, or kids who have alternative views on issues. I think professors and student bodies expect you to enter a university setting and start talking and believing and advocating for policy, social justice policies or policies, whatever the campus is pushing for. You will fall in line. That's education in America today.
So you want to hear my real pipe dream about this?
Sure.
Did you ever see the Rodney Dangerfield movie Back to School?
God, I'm so embarrassed. I never have. I'm so embarrassed. I never have. I've also never seen. I know. I've also never seen Caddyshack, which is apparently divorce material for my husband. Yeah, it's. I've never seen it. I will watch it this weekend. You're speechless.
No, you won't.
I
I am absolutely stunned. All right, we need to compile a list of 80s movies that you
Probably.
haven't seen so we can have an 80s film festival at some point and rectify this. But Rodney Dangerfield goes back to school and where his son is going to college, and you know, he wants to bond with his son. I just have this image of moms and dads going and enrolling in a college course, right? Just, you know, 3 hours a semester, and this army of adults just imposing some sort of sanity in the classroom, at least to be there to argue the same position, right? Wouldn't it be nice to have honest to goodness grown-ups in the room again who could, you know, audit these courses, report back to other adults, hey, here's what's going on, you know, at Western Michigan or Washington State. That's my real pipe dream. I know it'll never happen because we're all busy with our own lives and stuff like that. But
and I would end
a nation of Rodney Dangerfields, Julie.
And I would probably end up assaulting the teacher and go to jail. So for my own safety, I'm going to stay out of the classroom. I'll just comment on it.
The
From
FBI's
here.
already opened up a file on you, so.
Right. I have to be on my best behavior.
All right, Julie. Listen, we got to run. Thank you so much for coming on the program. How can people find you online? What's the best way to get you? Is it Facebook? Is it Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, but IWF.org posts all of my articles. So I'm in a bunch of different publications, and that's sort of the central place to find my writing.
All right. Well, listen, we will see you soon. Go Heat Street, and we'll talk to you again next week.
You can take your sunglasses off now. Okay. Bye. Thanks.
Julie Gundlach joining us from the Independent Women's Forum at IWF on Twitter as well, here with her weekly Nanny State Update.